Hi, welcome to another $1 Masterclass tutorial with me, Clay. This is a very short tutorial, but it just goes with the first part of our blues series. So our very first two tutorials. The first one focusing on shapes, the second one focusing on theory. This is just like a little piece of bonus material, which is a blues turnaround. In blues and jazz, the turnaround is basically the bit when we get to the end of the tune. It's the bit that kind of brings us back to the top of the tune again. Sometimes we use it so that everybody in the band knows exactly where we are and where we're going. Sometimes we use it to signify the end of our solo. Sometimes the band might actually use it to signify the end of your solo because they think, well, yeah, we've had enough of that solo now. So it's called a blues turnaround. This one is called a blues turnaround. Now you'll have probably heard it before. It might be a little bit of a cliche, but it's still really nice. And often in jazz and blues and any kind of improvised music, every so often we will use like a little riff, a little pattern that we're not really improvising. It's something that we know and we like, and it's like a little fill. It's almost like a little tell, if you like a gambler with a little tell. And it's just something that we like to drop in. It's just like a little bit of froth, like a little ornament. Okay, so this is a blues turnaround, and it sounds like this. So if we were in C, as we are in the previous blues videos, it would come here. So let's say we were going around our blues. Where it will come in, this little. So it comes in the last two bars of our 12-bar blues. So instead of just going, we go from our. Normally we'd go from our G. And we're back to the top again. So instead of just going round and round that. Whatever kind of blues we were doing, if we were doing like a more slow blues, so instead of there, I went to a G and then back to C. In the last two bars. Here we're going to do this. Okay, so how do we find it? So it's a little pattern that we're going to use, and so we can just play it straight. We can play it like this. Just leave that held. Or we can do, often it's done like this. It's entirely up to you. So how do we find it? Okay, so the way we find it is, if we're in C, we're doing a C blues, so this turnaround, we take our C chord, let's take an ordinary C chord here, we're going to move it up to first inversion, here it is, okay. Now this note on top, this isn't going to move, it's going to stay there. We can keep hitting it if we want to, or we can leave it, hold it, but it doesn't change, it's going to stay exactly on that spot. So that's not going anywhere. These two start here and then they drop, each one drops a semitone, then another semitone, then this one drops a semitone, this one drops a tone. Just think of it going back to C and E here. So that's the right hand. The left hand, if we think of a C7 chord, we'd have this. Here's our seventh here. So we're going to take that, we're going to put it down here. There. So the left hand just goes, that's all it does, chromatically. Don't leave any notes out. chromatic just means colour. So it's when we play it, we move up or down, but we don't miss any notes out. We go, you can see there's nothing between here and here. So it's actually a minor third, twiddly dum, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we keep this one on top. These do exactly the same thing. In fact, if you wanted to, you could just do this. But here we're going to add this one as well. You can slide if you want. If you're in a key in the blues where the kind of little semitone, the little semitone twist, the little cluster, is a black key, we can just slide off it, which is really nice because it gives it that kind of, it'll be less accurate, which is what we want. We don't want it to sound too accurate. So if I were playing here, I might, if I'm doing like my minor blues scale, I've got this cluster here, I'm going to slide here. Very nice loose wrist. I'm going to use my middle finger here, and I can slide up or down. So that's our blues turnaround. So it would come in our last 4 bars of our 12-bar blues. We've got our, if we're in C, so we've got our G chord. Now we've got the last 2 bars before we go back round again. So I'm going to go to C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then back to the top. So I hope that makes sense. So remember, the turnaround comes in the last 2 bars. Sometimes we also then throw in another chord 5 before we go back to the top of the blues. But we'll look at some of these other kind of figures that we can use in later videos. Have fun with it. I hope it helps. Thanks for watching. Bye.